with 2 different men within a week.
And his basic response was, it was not his problem, it was my problem.
You're having sex with more than one person without using protection.
This man was too scared to step up to his responsibilities.
Sleeping with your family member?
His family loving her 6 months.
You were so sad you weren't pregnant.
One thing led to another. We ended up being intimate that night.
Just thought that the ex was because we had unprotected sex.
For one, she don't deserve.
Volumes up for this one paternity peeps. Mr. Griffin is a hopeful contender eager to claim the title of biological father. And there was Miss Brown, admitting she was unsure about who fathered her child. What? Feels like someone's been acting like a railroad, laid all over America. Oh boy, their session started something like this.
Well, Your Honor, he's been a great father. There was a time where Autumn was about 3 to 4 weeks old and she stopped breathing on me. I had to call the ambulance and I knew that they would take so long to come, so I actually got in my car and I drove myself. On the way there, I called my ex and I asked him, to meet me at the hospital because my daughter wasn't breathing, and he said, no, I'm not coming, she's not my daughter.
What? Well, they weren't wrong when they said love makes you do all sorts of cardio, but I wonder why. Not book an Uber? Duh. However, it must have been heart-shattering for Mr. Griffin to find out about the uncertainty regarding his child. Let's just hear how all of that went down.
I came upon the habit of doubt. I caught something. I caught her on the phone. I seen the text message in the phone. And then she was on the phone with this guy. I thought they was done. And then I just grabbed my stuff and I left. Kicked the door and left.
So you think everything's normal. You see a text message, read the text message from this guy,
yes, Your Honor.
So you just leave.
Yes.
What's on this message, Ms. Brown?
Basically, it was on the messages
What a major wreck is this? Ms. Brown has been moving back and forth between the 2 men. It had just made things miserable for the poor man. But how casually she explained that everyone says that the baby partially looks like Mr. Griffin and the other dude, further stirring up the doubts.
So, Mr. Griffin, do you think Autumn looks like you?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. She got the same painty toe like me, like in my family, and she looked just like our other daughter. So that's my baby girl, that's my queen, that's my daughter.
So you have another child with Miss Brown?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you think the 2 children, they really do look alike to you?
Oh. Now that's who you call to be an enthusiastic dad. But if you look on the contrary, there's also an ex in the picture who has been MIA ever since Ms. Brown knocked on his door for some child support. Let's hear the baby mama developing a contrast between the 2 men.
So today's results really are crucial in the sense that if he's in fact her biological father, there's a question as to whether he's going to even participate in raising her.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, Jerome, I think it's time for the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, the ex. Where is he? Probably too busy living his best life, conveniently absent from the courtroom drama. But fear not, for our aspiring daddy is here to grace us with his emotional prowess, explaining his deep, heartfelt connection to the girl. Grab your tissues, folks!
Without really knowing whether or not she was your biological child.
Yes, Your Honor.
So tell me about this bond. You love her, you regard her as your daughter. Tell me.
Yes, she came in my life as I was losing a baby, and I got a blessing with her coming in my life, so that was a gift from God. And that's my daughter regardless. I watched her grow, talk, take her first steps.
After thoroughly exploring doubts, emotions, and connections, the time has come for the answer. Judge Lake, aiming to bring resolution, reveals the envelope containing the paternity test results. Get ready for the moment of truth. Folks,
that Mr. Griffin is not the father.
Well, Your Honor, I'm gonna be there regardless. I'm our father.
Yes, Your Honor.
I know this is not the news you wanted.
No, Your Honor.
And I have to ask you, are you certain that the other gentleman you spoke of is her biological father, or could there be someone else?
No one else, Your Honor.
oh, look who we have here. It's Ms. Smith, the lady who decided to have a little paternity adventure with not 1, not 2, but 3 lucky gentlemen. Now she finds herself lost in the twisted maze of determining the biological father of her daughter. If only I had a dime for each man she got cozy with. Never mind.
And I was really going through a bad time with my husband. We was going through some things, and I sought comfort in Mr. Bailey. 8-year relationship. Throughout the whole 8 years, we've messed around.
So this has been a long-term relationship that extended
Yes,
into
Your
the
Honor.
time during your marriage.
It wasn't a relationship.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, it was. He's my soulmate sexually.
What sort of a blame is that? But it does seem quite logical, I believe. And you better do some explaining, Mr. Bailey. And also, if you could have just logged on to Airbnb, you just never had to be in this situation. Someone please put some sense into these people.
Mr. Bailey, you acting like you didn't participate, but you had sex enough to understand that there's a possibility that you're Tamia's father.
She had sex with a lot of men that could be possible the father.
That's not true, not at all. He's always been my go-to guy, and I'm his go-to girl.
But it's somebody in the hall waiting on.
We have a 6-year-old daughter, and he's
It's
been
a man in the hallway who took a DNA test.
Yes, isn't that right, Judge Lake? But we care. Well, Ms. Smith, you just can't blame only the man. After all, you are the one who admits to getting cozy with multiple men. Oh, this made me wonder which of them got the news first. This might have been a race in or out of the relationship.
She told both of us.
No,
Me and him
I did
actually
not.
stayed in my
I did
car
not tell him. He
when I
don't
was staying in
even
Rome,
know.
Georgia.
He don't
We was
even
sitting in the
know.
car. I picked him up because he was walking.
That's
We
not
had a
even true.
conversation.
My husband had a car. We had trucks and cars. So
conversation.
when would he walk?
And he said that she was telling him that he was the father of the child.
Really? Listen, I need to be able to hear the testimony. You said she told you were the father.
What in the world was happening? It felt like both of them have been playing the lie game. And can't you just feel the toxicity in the environment? But just look how our curly head lady went ballistic on the defendant in a question regarding the window of conception.
Me and Mr. Bailey been sleeping together 8 years. We're not gonna stop.
I
mean,
heard
it's been
that
continuous.
you have provided that testimony already.
My daughter looks like this man.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does.
But the simple fact of the matter is, she told my wife that she had multiple
is
Wait
you
a
partners.
minute, this woman ain't never had a conversation.
Miss Smith,
Not
you
until I
also-
told
all right.
her that she was my baby daddy.
Miss Smith, if I can't hear your case, it's no sense of you talking.
What an emotional manipulation. Yeah, that's right. If you had all the ideas about how important it is for a child to know about her father, you could have just kept your clothes on. But since now, we are in this situation, how about Judge Lake talk some sense into them both?
This is the thing. I had a one-night stand with Mr. Anderson.
Okay.
That much is true.
Miss Smith, you do understand. You're a woman, you understand. It only takes one.
Yeah, you're right.
So if he needed some doubt to hang his hat on, you gave it to him. Mr. Bailey, you want to deny her and say she's this and she's that, but the truth is you do admit having a long-term relationship with this woman.
While we're all scratching our heads trying to piece together the puzzle from the testimonies, why not take a moment to summon the elusive one-night stand? Yes, that mysterious figure who had a cameo role in this extraordinary drama. Let's hope Mr. Anderson can shed some light.
You potentially could be her daughter's biological father.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think you had a one-night stand, or you don't think it was during the window of conception, or you don't think you could be the daughter's father?
I'm sure I had a one-night stand.
Check.
But I don't think I
Was it done during the window of conception?
Maybe it was.
The drama continues to escalate. With everyone unwilling to give an inch of slack and allegations flying left and right, it's time for our beloved Judge Loran to step in and put an end to this self-made mystery created by Mrs. Smith.
That the biological father is Mr. Bailey.
Thank you. Actually not.
Wait a minute. So who did you want to be the father?
I would rather deal with Mr. Anderson than deal with him any day.
Imagine what will happen if you catch your boyfriend cheating on you. No clue? How about I give some ideas? Well, number 1 on the list is to sign up for divorce. Meh, too cliche. How about you do the same? But beware of the consequences, as Ms. Greer, who's now playing Who's the Daddy in paternity court after getting pregnant.
He may not be your child's father.
I found out that he cheated on me, and I wanted to get revenge. And I met this man on a dating website. I slept with him, and I found I was pregnant, and I didn't have nobody. And I just wanted to do it.
And you didn't use protection, even with a man you barely knew?
No, ma'am.
Come on, man. How 21st century? Swipe right from the comfort of your couch, get a man, and boom! Here's the paternity limbo. We must appreciate your dating profile making skills. Ms. Greer, but hold on. How did our man in braids, the AKA boyfriend, found out about his wife's online mumbo jumbo?
Me and my family had moved to Tennessee, and all of a sudden I get a Facebook message from Ms. Greer saying that she's pregnant, and I told her that she was lying, that I didn't believe her, so I told her to send a message of the pregnancy test that she took with it, and she did. And after that, me and my family had moved back to Atlanta, Georgia, so they can help me take care of my child because it was my first child, and I always wanted to have a child ever since I was little.
Well, Mr. Thompson, like they say, you reap what you sow. There is no point now looking all innocent, huh? You know that there is no room for infidelity in a relationship, but folks, regardless of him being the star boy, our defendant was there for the birth. Just wow.
Both of you all look tired. That's about how you look. So you were there through it all?
Yes.
This very moment where you're exhausted, you all been up all night, and yet you're excited and joyful, you have no clue
No, y'all.
that she had slept with another man.
I didn't know nothing about it. This after I cut her umbilical cord when she was in the hospital.
Let me see that, please, Jerome.
Can you believe it? It means that the baby mama has been putting up an act all this time until and unless she couldn't take the guilt anymore. So how about we fast forward to the day when Mr. Thompson finally finds out about the little reality that has been lurking in the shadows.
One of her family members posted it on Facebook about that the baby's not mine, that it can be 2 other people I guess she was sleeping with.
Wait, her family member posted this on Facebook?
On my page.
On your page? After you've been at the hospital with the baby and everybody knew how excited and happy you were?
6 months, yeah, I don't know if that's long enough or not. And thanks to the family member for a reality check. But wait, what was the point of keeping it a secret? Like you said at your mom, that you did catch your boyfriend cheating too.
I didn't want to ruin the relationship that we had. And when I told him, he started crying. And it made me feel bad because, you know what I'm saying, this is the man I love, and it just tore everything apart.
If your family member never posted this on Facebook, would you ever told him the truth?
Yes, Your Honor, till she was a year old.
What a crazy woman! Well, first of all, it's unfair to your boyfriend. And second, it's unfair to your child. I don't understand what were you thinking, Ms. Greer, but maybe the dude from the dating website might have some insights on how she took care of the situation.
So bottom line is you all did have sex.
Yeah, we had sex
without using protection.
We had sex on the floor. The first time we used the condom.
Okay.
The second and the third time we did not use the condom. She stayed over my house the whole weekend. Some kind of way, her and my sister became close friends and ended up hanging out and conversating with each other. Okay, a few weeks after that, I found out she was pregnant.
Ms. Greer, you do have now put yourself in a position from where there is no point of return, and this paternity triangle can only be solved with the professional help of the DNA queen. So how about we kill the cat in Mr. Thompson's heart by reading out the result? Here we go.
That her biological father is Mr. Thompson. I'm proud of you for stepping up to the plate even when there was doubt. But this did not turn out the way you had hoped. It led you to leave your child and have her be raised by Mr. Thompson and his family.
Grab a box of tissues for this one paternity enthusiast. Ms. Allen claims that the defendant got her pregnant and refuses to support their 2-year-old daughter, who has severe allergies. Ah, poor child. Mr. Tolliver must have a heart of stone for not stepping up the plate.
Absolutely nothing on her.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Wow. Has he paid any child support at all?
No, Your Honor.
Been involved in her life?
No, Your Honor.
Come to visit her?
No, Your Honor.
I have several reasons that I can prove that I'm not the father.
How?
Well, I mean...
What can you prove?
I've tried to get her to do a DNA test. For instance, just the other day, says she's not going to do the test.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you been avoiding the test, Ms. Allen?
No, I haven't not been avoiding the test.
Well, that's just the face of a paternity denier, ladies and gentlemen. This case was a wreck right from the beginning, as it started with allegations flying around left and right. But how can we forget the woman standing next to the man claimed that Ms. Allen has been using Mr. Tolliver as her personal 7-Eleven?
Okay, well, how we met on a dating site. And we had intercourse the first night we met. She'd also told me
Did you use protection?
No, ma'am. But she told me that the day before that her ex-boyfriend she just broke up with, they had intercourse that night. The night before.
I did not tell you that.
Okay, that's what you said.
No.
Okay, so the day you met her.
Ah, man. So they were both like hit it and kick it right from the beginning. But hold on, what's the hustle? Our Mr. Tolliver here has been collecting all sorts of proof to support his theory on I'm not the daddy.
That's Miss Allen with the guy she was seeing at the time that she's telling me that
So this is her in the hospital having birth, and that's the man there on the phone in the corner.
Her boyfriend, or she's telling me that that's going to be Novella's father.
When did she tell you this?
Right after the pregnancy.
So you weren't there on this day, the day she delivered?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Were you invited?
No, ma'am. How was I invited? Was she going to invite me and him?
What is happening here? There are pictures of another man doing the daddy job. This only leaves us with the window of conception. And if the baby mama was dating anyone else around that time, oh, things are about to be spicing up.
Seeing at the time with Novella, as in claiming as his daughter.
My girl's already learning, laugh out loud. So let me ask you this. Do you believe that this gentleman is potentially Novella's biological father? Or do you feel like this is just someone she's using to get back at you?
I don't know. It just seems to me like that's a very good chance that he is the father.
when you got pregnant, were you dating anyone else at the time?
Okay, so we are not sure about where this case was taking us, but one thing was sure. Mr. Tolliver expresses that he can't change his life based on Alan's claims and believes she's using the baby to get him back.
Just changed my life because ex-girlfriend calls and tells me, I'm pregnant with your baby, so you're the father, you need to do this. And she says she don't want money or anything from me. She wants me to be in their lives. Not just Novella's life, their lives. That's why I feel like she's trying to get me back by using the baby. Her ex-boyfriends, from what I understand, and the ones I've seen are losers, more or less.
But wait a minute, is there another twist in the whole picture? The judge notes that allergies and asthma can be related, but are not necessarily hereditary. Okay, now we ain't the medical expert, but how about we consult a medical expert?
Asthma is definitely related to allergies. About 65% of asthma is allergic asthma. And that happens when you breathe in air and then the body actually has an overreaction to it or a hypersensitive reaction and causes difficulty with breathing.
Okay, and so is this passed down through the families? Is this hereditary?
So it's interesting, allergies and asthma are actually not genetic.
Okay, so the bottom line after that science class was the arguments which Mr. Tolliver presents were refuted. Since we just can't rely on the expert talking, it was now turned for the DNA to do the talking. So here's one last punch to set the record straight.
Mr. Tolliver, you are her father.
Okay. A little bit, yes, ma'am.
Just a little happy.
Well, I mean, I've always wanted a kid, but we're done with the going back and forth, okay? I mean,
Yeah, I'm in a serious relationship. I don't want you.
Who's enthusiastic enough to be called daddy? I am not. But if you are, you can join the league with Mr. Morgan, who went to an extent of suing Ms. Gentrylee, hoping that the DNA result will rule in his favor. However, the baby mama stood on strong grounds like a fortress.
I simply believe that she's denying this because we're no longer in a relationship and we're not going to be.
So you think she's just saying you're not the child's father because she's not with you anymore?
Yes, because I moved on.
Is that true, Ms. Gentrylee?
No, Your Honor.
Explain. This is very upsetting to you. Explain to the court. What are you feeling?
I just feel horrible because, for one, she don't deserve this, but she do deserve to figure out the truth.
Oh God, can you just stop with the drama? She's going through everything because of you, Mom. And don't get us started there. How about we just focus on how everything started in this dish of baby making? Let's do it.
Okay, well, I'm in artist management for a living. When the time I met Miss Gentrylee, she was with an artist that I was considering signing. I called to speak with him and to tell him, you know, come over, have a drink, let's sit down and discuss some details and see what we can do. Well, Miss Gentrylee had answered the telephone and she said at that time that he was no longer with her. Their relationship is over.
According to the defendant, Mr. Artist Manager asked the woman to move in with him on the first day met. Talk about what actually love at first sight means. But I don't understand what happened in their new fast budding relationship.
He was bringing other women in, like my family member, and I caught him with my family member.
He was sleeping with your family member?
He was sleeping with my family member, Your Honor.
So sorry.
I completely told him I was done, so he called me back September the 19th, Your Honor. So I stayed with him September the 19th. We did a quickie. Then I left him that day and went with another guy, Your Honor.
A quickie. But just wait, did she just say left with another man? So this is where the doubts settle in. But isn't that just one side of the coin? How about we flip it and see it this time? It lands heads. Just listen to what Mr. Morgan has to say about the whole situation.
At that time where she was at my house, ended up staying at my house for well over 2 months when she stayed there. I asked her the second day when she was there at my house, why haven't you left yet? She
That is not true,
She
Your Honor.
explained
He
to
did not
me
ask
that
me
when I
that.
asked her that she had
He did
nowhere
not
to
ask
go.
me that.
She had nowhere to go. She
No.
was staying with a family member of hers, and her family member thought she was a bad influence on the rest of the girls that were there in the house.
What did he just say? So that's what you call some next level detective level detail reading. Bravo, Mr. Morgan! You did catch the woman, but only if the defendant believed the baby was his, she could have said something. Duh, what?
Mr. Morgan, I can do the math on the baby and see she was of age. But wow, this is a very young girl. And Miss Gentrylee, at your age, you talking about you were so sad you weren't pregnant, but you having sex with Mr. Morgan and another guy you can't determine which person is gonna be the father if you're having sex with more than one person without using protection.
That's my point.
You know that, right?
Mr. Morgan was in a limbo with a woman half his age. That's just one part of the testimony. Can you believe the defendant was just lonely, so she went out for a ride? What life choices these people make? But hold on, there is more to the story.
She texts all the time, and she was texting him and saying how she was hungry and stuff, and he was like, I'm tired of dealing with her. You know, I'm tired of the running around. One day it's my baby, one day it's not. I'm like, no, you can't do that. She's gonna come over here, she's gonna get her something to eat, she's gonna get her some rest, because I'm a mother myself, you know?
Your Honor, that's a lie because
I don't like it, but I deal with you, I invited, he just told her.
I went over his cousin's house.
Not sure about being young and dumb, but one thing was for sure. As we had recorded enough testimony, it was time for the DNA results to knock some maturity into these people. So, Mr. Morgan, are you ready? Here it is.
It has been determined by this court. You are the father.
We've been through hell and back.
Born. I never got to hold her. I never got to.
She moved away when she was 8 months pregnant on us.
You to stay at my house. You could have stayed.
With me. You said I don't like you so much, but I was there for you. I bought your baby clothes. I fed you.